YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Manifesting with Karmic Side Gal. My name is Shakayla. Here on my channel, I discuss manifesting the life you deserve to have, my process and journey through ascension, and of course, spirituality in general. If you are new to the channel, this is your first time checking me out, thank you for joining me. I am super excited that you decided to watch me today. And if you can, go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe. Go ahead and click that subscribe so you can be notified each and every time that I post. Now, if you are a part of the spiritual family, big hearts go out to you guys. I am super grateful for you and just lucky that you decided to, come entertain me once again. So if you can see from the title or description of this, then you know this is the weekly reading, okay? What's today? Today is Friday, which is Venus Day. I'm gonna get started by pulling an affirmation. I just finished a really good meditation. I feel super good today. The energy just feels really good going into Virgo season. My birthday is next week, and I'm going to be 32, which is also a 5, and I am a life path 5. So I just feel very in alignment right now, and I'm extending all of that energy outwards to you guys. Let's see, what is spirit having for us? Ooh, okay. This is so funny because this is the energy I meditated on, is the solar plexus chakra. So today's affirmation is all about self-worth and self-esteem. It says, when I respect and approve of myself, others will naturally do the same. I teach others how to treat and respect me by how I treat and respect myself, period. This is really cool because lately, I'll say in the past few months, I don't really watch a lot of TV except maybe like 1 or 2 shows that I'm really into, or maybe shows that I watch with my girlfriend. I haven't really been into TikTok for a while, but every now and again I'll jump on there and post. But I am addicted to listening to my own podcast. 1, because I think it's so good, but 2, it really helps me to reflect back on conversations that we had for our newer content. And the episode I was listening to today was our episode about consent. I will link it below in the description box because I really don't remember what it was called. But we were really discussing like the male gaze and all those things. And you know how there's a rise in femininity coaches nowadays, like women or men that are teaching women how to be more suitable partners for men. And really the only way you can become a more suitable partner is becoming your most authentic self, okay? Learning how to love yourself, value yourself, give yourself respect, and that's going to naturally build your confidence and self-esteem, which is going to attract the people that are in alignment with you, that are on the same vibration as you, period, okay? So I feel like maybe somebody needed to hear that. If you are looking for love, I know last week's reading was very heavily centered in love. Or if you are entertaining new partners, maybe you feel like, it's not what the dating pool doesn't have what you're looking for. But trust me, the more time that you spend with yourself, the more you get to know yourself, the more you can let your needs be clear and known to the universe. And I promise you, it's only a matter of time before you attract the person that you want to be with. Okay. And then what is this? I think this is the moon deck. Yeah, this is the moon deck. I'm gonna go ahead and pull a card from the moon deck. I hope that all of you guys are doing so good. I honestly was down bad for a minute, for real, but I am really getting back to my old self. I feel a little bit more normal now that I'm back with my kids every single day. Oh, we got 2 cards. Okay. Okay, so this is like really giving the energy from the full moon reading I did. This is the number 20 card, which is about balance, new beginnings. So, it's really almost giving that temperance energy. In a temperance card, a lot of time you see like 1 foot in that pool of water and 1 foot on earth, and it's like you're being grounded, but you're also balancing your emotions, and that's very necessary when you are manifesting a new beginning. Okay, it's finding how to balance what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what it is that you're saying, and speaking into your reality. So that's very much giving this type of energy. And she's meditating, okay? She got them chakras going, baby. Her third eye is open. So this card says, with a steady mind, I am connected to our collective experience. I love that, okay? And I really spoke a lot about that last week when I talked about us having a collective experience, but also an individual experience, and being mindful of how those two things connect and how to find balance in what your individual purpose is, but how you're creating an impact in the world, you know. And the next card we got is the energy of 44. Literally, what was I saying? 414, 444. I was picking up on last week. It says, I free myself from critical thoughts towards my body and my worth. So, yeah, that's just like bringing it back around town for the energy of the solar plexus chakra right there. Just wholly loving and accepting yourself for everything that you are. You know what I mean? And the more that you love yourself, the more love that you have to give. Like, looking at this image, it's like this moon here to me is a representation of God's love. I was just talking about this recently on a podcast episode as well, but and then this energy expounding from her, just being released from her, even more magnified, is really her love for herself, but now that she has to give so much to others, you know. It's really a representation of having your own cup full, and then it's like you have so much to give, and that's just such a really beautiful thing. Okay, the deck that I'm using today, I'm going to pull a few cards. This is the Modern Witch Tarot deck. I love this deck. I love it because it's so inclusive, which speaks a lot to the collective experience. The more that you grow, the more that you learn and love to accept yourself, the more that you can do so for other people. And it's like you really do accept people exactly for who they are. You start to let go and release certain beliefs that you have that maybe created biases towards other groups of people, and like really understanding that we're all going through the same thing. We're all like just having different experiences, but we are all being impacted by the same shit at any given moment. So having that real compassion there. And I love that energy. Like, this is such a great deck to work with. And the thing that I love about this deck is because this is the only deck that I have two sets of. And I think both of them were purchased by somebody else, which is such a good, a dope thing. I love when people buy me decks or send me like a gift that is something, you know, like a spiritual tool. That's really cool. Okay. Okay. So we have the same card on the bottom of the deck as last week. Okay, so what that tells me is that not only am I personally, because when I read for you guys, I'm also reading for myself, but also the collective, we're really doing a great job at maintaining this high vibration from this week to next week for us to get the same exact energy for the overall read, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, Ace of Pentacles is really a representation of new opportunities in your life. Okay, it's all about being so grounded and balanced that everything that's in alignment with you starts to come towards you in a physical sense. Okay, and this is really about, you know, our manifestations going from a air element, a water element, into the physical reality, which is the earth element. I feel like I've been talking about elements a lot, but you know, it's just like air, water, earth, fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, to me, it's like a cycle. Like, first it's through the fire, because it's almost like that song, by Shaka Khan, and she's like, through the fire, through the limit, through the wall. So, like, first, to me personally, it's some stuff that happens in my life that triggers me. That's like, it starts a fire within me. Like, it ignites my passion for something. And to me, that's the fire element. Okay. That passion. And then it goes through the air element, which is you thinking about it, obsessing over it to the point that you want it so bad. And then it goes into the water element, where you start to really feel what it would like to be to have it. You allow yourself to be embodied in those emotions of what it will feel like when you did got it, or the emotions of wanting it so bad. And then it comes into the earth element, which is where it is a physical manifestation, which is something real, something tangible in your physical life when your manifestations come into fruition. So I just feel like that's just such beautiful energy for this week and for last week. And I hope that is truly reflecting in your lives. And if it's not, it's all about your mindset, how it is that you're perceiving this moment right now. If you feel like things are truly going so bad for you and it's unfixable, that's what's going to manifest in your reality. But if you're like, yeah, things are a little bit difficult right now, but just having gratitude and finding the good out of each moment, finding the lesson in each moment, and truly changing your perspective to understanding that you actually do have more control than you think you do. And that creates a shift in your reality because it shifted in your mindset. I hope that I'm making sense. So I pulled 3 cards for you guys. The first is we're moving right into Virgo energy with the Hermit. So, coming into this next week and even this week, you may feel the need to want to disconnect or detach from reality. You might feel like, oh, I need a social media break, or, I really just want to take some time to be alone myself and think about what do I want and what do I need. Okay. And this is perfect because we have the new moon in Virgo, I believe, on the 27th. So you're just preparing yourself for that new moon. Okay. Maybe like setting out your intentions, not really considering other people's opinion. Like, the thing I love about being a Virgo, one of my best qualities now that I'm really truly in alignment with that part of myself, because it wasn't always easy, it was something I had to practice and become, is that I don't need other people to validate me when I make certain decisions. I don't look for people to, complain to about my life. I'm just like instantly taking action of how it is that I can resolve it myself. And although it's a very good and healthy thing to be able to ask for help, it's an even more powerful thing for you to just consider your own needs, to listen to your your intuition, and to meditate over any issues or difficulties that you may have in your life before consulting other people. You know what I mean? It's like I would have a problem and I would call at least 5 of my friends to complain about my problem before I even took a minute to think about how I could resolve it. My Reiki teacher, my Reiki master, her name's Taylor. I'm going to link her below because she's so amazing. And if you are interested in learning Reiki, I truly recommend her. Like, I just finished my Reiki 2 a couple months ago, and I'm really hoping to do my Reiki 3 soon, but I'm on divine timing, you know what I'm saying? But she told me this story and it really stuck with me, and I feel like it's a good story to share right now. That she had been doing Reiki for a while, and she had a situation where she went somewhere and then she lost her keys, y'all. She lost her keys to her house, but she still had her car key. Like, the one key fell off. And when she lost her key, she was like crossing this big highway or whatever. So she's like, I'm like looking all around. I'm checking the curb. I'm like crossing the street back and forth looking for this key. I'm having a breakdown. I'm calling everybody I know. I'm getting upset because I'm asking them come help me and they're not available to me when I need them. And she was like, she was so blue. She was sitting on the curb. It was hot as hell outside and she was pissed off. And then she called her one friend and her friend was like, Tay, like, why don't you just use Reiki? And she was like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, you telling me to use Reiki right now? I'm having a real life problem. And then she sat there with herself for a couple of minutes and she was like, okay, why didn't I just use Reiki? So like if you don't know Reiki, you can use Reiki to find something. Once you reach Reiki 2, there's certain symbols that you can place in the room to find something. And that's what she did. She was like, I used Reiki and immediately I found the key. Like she found it and it was just glimmering like it was waiting for her to find it. And it taught her such a valuable lesson because after she finally calmed down and realized that she could use the Reiki, one, she realized she had her car key and she could have been sitting in her car in the air the whole fucking time. Like she didn't have to be out in the heat suffering while she was looking for this key. And then she realized that she literally had the tools within her the whole time and she didn't need to ask for help. She didn't even have to do all that work ripping and running and finding it. All she had to do was connect to her divine energy and use Reiki. Like, that is a life-changing story to me because, bruh, how how do you feel after the universe is just laughing at you, after you like all burnt out, tired, frustrated, and lowered your vibration to the pit of hell, and you literally had the tools within you? So I don't know. I feel like just take that story and apply it how it applies to you. So the next card that we have coming out is the Knight of Wands, okay? And Wands is all about the action, okay? It's all about taking action. And the Knight energy is kind of like bringing in that new energy. But because this is in reverse, what I feel like what this card is giving is to not be taking action, is actually to rest. I don't know about y'all, but if you've had the opportunity like between this week and next week where you could just chill out, maybe just watch TV or do something you love or take the time to learn something new. And to me, sometimes when I have this moment of rest, I start to feel inadequate, like I'm not being productive. But the energy of the Knight of Wands in this reading is that rest is productive. And instead of always being busy, maybe like using that Virgo energy, harnessing that to sit with yourself, have a moment of reflection. And like that is going to do more for you than being so busy and moving around and doing the most. You know what I'm saying? So just reflect on that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't always have to be like the one coming in to save the day or the knight in shining armor. Like sometimes when we are in relationships with people, we feel like it is our job or our duty to step in and help them or step in and solve their problems. And half the time they don't even be asking for help. We just be like overextending ourselves to do stuff. And that's like going back to being aware of your own energy and like what you even have to give. We don't want to go into the world with this like empty cup, needing energy from other people because we can't fulfill it within ourselves. Jocelyn Hernandez has me in a chokehold. Like, fulfilled? Are you dead ass? I'm moving on to the next card. So we have another reversal, which is the Three of Swords. And you know, the Three of Swords is one of those cards that everybody hates because it like kind of signifies heartbreak and all this stuff like that. And last week I was talking about coming out of that energy of heartbreak and healing and stuff. And to me, the Three of Swords is really a moment of reflection, okay? It's like when you're maybe like 6 months to a year past a breakup from a serious relationship and you start to have all of these like aha moments, maybe about your behaviors in the relationship, maybe about everything just being a lesson and a reason and a season and all that jazz. Maybe that reflecting on that person and you weren't even that good of a match to begin with and you were holding on to something. Like, to me, the Three of Swords with all of this cloud energy surrounding it and even the rain, the emotion pouring in, is just reflecting on your past emotions and how you feel different now and how far you've came through that. Instead of just thinking about the pain of the relationship, you're really thinking about how it was necessary. You don't regret it, you know, no regrets. And you know that you're ready to heal from it like that. I especially love seeing this card upside down like this, because instead of it looking like it's this blood dripping out of the heart, right? It's almost like it's covering it, if it makes sense. Sometimes we have to be so deep in our shadows to have a realization. And that's why it's called shadow work. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you really get triggered, like to me, these swords represent like triggers. Like when you really get to a point where you're so triggered, you are in the lowest vibration. You know what I'm saying? You start to realize, like, dang, I am feeling so down bad. And sometimes we were perpetuated by listening to sad music, watching sad movies, talking about it to our friends for 6 months. And it's like, when you can finally get out of that and the shadow covered you like a band-aid, like it was healing to you, and you realize, like, thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Whatever you believe in, you just be so happy from that moment. So I feel like this was such a decent reading, and I'm just going to basically read a passage from the Osho Tarot Guidebook. I'm just gonna like skim through and find what is the energy that we need to hear today. This is like my favorite deck of all time. Ooh, Chile. Okay, so here we are. This is the energy of 3, first of all. 3 is a very joyous number. It's happy. It represents comedy. It represents togetherness. It also represents the sun. It's like very attention seeking in a way. But 3 is just so entertaining. Okay. So this card is isolation, and it is in the suit the mind, which is the clouds here in this deck, okay, the air element. So it says, in our society, men in particular have been taught not to cry, to put a brave face on things when they get hurt and not show that they are in pain. But women can fall into this trap too, and all of us at one time or another might feel that the only way to survive is to close off our feelings and emotions so we can't be hurt again. If our pain is particularly deep, we might even try and hide it from ourselves. This can make us frozen, rigid, because deep down we know that one small break in the ice will free the hurt to start circulating through us again. The rainbow colored tears on this person's face hold the key to breaking out of this isolation. The tears, and only the tears, have the power to melt the ice. It's okay to cry, and there is no reason to feel ashamed of your tears. Crying helps us to let go of pain, allows us to be gentle with ourselves, and finally helps us to heal. Okay. Now, there's like that's the commentary, but I'm going to read like the meaning of the card. That's just very interesting to me, because I feel like that's a whole different outlook, a different perception of seeing the 3 of Swords in reverse. Is really allowing yourself to feel that heartbreak and to go through the process of that, because the only way to heal is to feel. You got to feel to heal, period. We are miserable because we are too much in the self. What does it mean when I say we are too much in the self? And what exactly happens when we are too much in the self? Either you can be in existence or you can be in the self, but both are not possible together. To be in the self means to be apart, to be separate. To be in the self means to become an island. To be in the self means to draw a boundary line around you. To be in the self means to make a distinction between this I am and that I am not. The definition, the boundary between I and not. I is what the self is. The self isolates and it makes you frozen. You are no longer flowing. If you are flowing, the self cannot exist. Hence, people become almost like ice cubes. They don't have any warmth. They don't have any love. Love is warmth, and they are afraid of love. If warmth comes to them, they will start melting and the boundaries will disappear. In love, the boundaries disappear. In joy, also the boundaries disappear, because joy is not cold. So remember when I said 3 is the energy of joy? It's the energy of like comedy and just like being a source of entertainment for other people and things like that. In times of sadness, grief, depression. You want to seek all things that make you happy. That's what's going to be able to pull you out of the self, right? And like something that I really had an epitome on a few days ago is like, I feel like for the longest time, because of my Christian background growing up, is that I always looked at God like a person, like a he, this image of God was in my mind. And the other day I was talking and I was saying like God is love. And I realized that like literally God is love. God is many things and is in many places. God is love. You know what I'm saying? God is not specific to a religion. God is not this source that is telling you what is right or wrong and telling you heaven or hell. God is just love. There's no judgment. There's no hatred, just love. And when you have unconditional love, that is a space to foster peace. So take that and run with it. And I feel like if you guys ever seen Frozen and Olaf's like about to risk it all, and they're like, but Olaf, like, what if you melt? And he's like, well, some things are worth melting for. So it's just one thing to understand that like heartbreak is not supposed to turn you cold. It's not supposed to make you turn into this other version of yourself where you have to protect yourself from people. It's just supposed to be a reflection of an opportunity for growth. So either you choose to reflect on your own behaviors in that relationship and what that experience taught you, and then you grow, and then you can continue spreading your love to the world, you know, or you get closed off and then you have all these like layers up around yourself and try and pass them off as boundaries. And boundaries are for you, they're not for the other person. So how could be a boundary be you keeping people out from loving you? You know what I'm saying? You just have to know the relationships, the connections that are worth letting down your guards for. You know what I'm saying? So with all of that, I hope that you guys have a super amazing weekend. I will definitely be back for meditation this week. I know I said I will be back for meditation last week, but you know, my kids just started school this week and just life's been a little bit like blah, 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 blah. So I hope that you guys are having an amazing week, and I am sending you so much love and abundance. If you would like to book with me, you can do so by looking in the description box and clicking the link, or going to just fullmoonbeauties.com to book a reading with me, or a Reiki session, or chakra healing. And of course, you can follow me on all platforms at Karmic Psych Gal, and check out my podcast, I've Got Time. Peace.